You're listening to the Talkbox sign. You're listening to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the Talkbox sign. You're listening to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talkbox.
All right, you guys, welcome to the Talkbox with your girl, Sonja. We have a special guest here in the building. We have none other than what we call Coach Bud James, but he used to be one of the magnificent players of the Buffalo Bills. Is that right? So we're just glad to have Robert James in the studio with us on today, and we're gonna just have a little bit of conversation. I'm glad to have you here today for accepting the invitation. How are you?
Appreciate the invitation. I'm doing fine. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Good. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your career and how you got started. Because a lot of people, these young people these days, it's a whole different ball game. But knowing that you was one from this little bitty town called Murfreesboro and went to play professional football for Buffalo Bills, I know that had to be exciting for you. So how did that come about?
It was a blessing from above. It was a calling that God put on my life. I've had 3 jobs, and I'm still operating in one now. That's a calling. My first job was after I graduated from Fisk University. I went and played with the Buffalo Bills. I was there with the organization for 8 years. I didn't play my 8th year because I got hurt in my 7th year, and I wasn't able to continue my career after my 8th year. I was on a long-term contract, so I was compensated even my 8th year when I did not play. It was a gift from God. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Young man, 6'2", 185, 190 pounds.
Okay.
You don't look at them as professional players. You're looking at someone much larger, much bigger. But when God gives you a gift, you will definitely be successful when you're operating in it.
In that gift.
That's what puts you in the center of God's will. What God has called you to do, and you're doing it. You have favor with God, and God put favor on my life during that season. Matter of fact, that's favor on my life now. Went to Fisk University. That was a place that I was prepped to play professional football.
What did you study there when you were in Fisk?
I was in education.
Okay.
So after I got out of pro ball, I went into education right back in a calling that God called me for. And that was to work with young people, to encourage them, to motivate them, to help shape and mold them, to discipline them, to speak words of prosperity in their spirit, to guide and direct them, to encourage them, to be there for them, but also to discipline them, because that is very important part of shaping young people and giving them that value and understanding of how to be successful in way of sacrificing and in way of having a very strong attitude about their success, believing in that themselves. So
let me ask you something. So you was going to Fisk and taking up education. When you were in high school or when you started college, was that your dream to be a professional football player? Especially since you're saying that your physique wasn't fit.
Even in the 8th grade, that was my dream. I won't ever forget one morning on my way to school, I stopped by my grandmother's, and my grandmother asked me what was I going to do once I got out of school. I got to college, because I told her I was going to go to college. said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to play professional football when I grow up.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think I was in high school then. No one believed that. No one saw that. God planted the seed in me, and I knew that I was able to do it because I always felt sure of myself and sure of what God has called me to do. And he lined things up.
Well, knowing your purpose is half the battle. Even when we don't look the part, even when we don't sound the part, if God has purpose for you, as your life has already shown here, for lack of better terms, a little pipsqueak compared to other people, other men's bodies as far as football goes. But and so you was able to obtain and go for your dream. And so my question to you is, if there's some other young folk out there that has a dream to not necessarily be football, but whatever the dream is, what advice can you give, knowing that you may not fit the part, may not sound like the part or whatever, but it's their dream?
You have to be realistic with yourself. You have to know your gift. If you don't know your gift and you're seeking something outside of what God has created you for, what God has set you aside and ordained you and sanctified you and given you what you need and his blessing, you're on the wrong track. Be realistic with yourself. And you have to know your gift. I knew my gift and I had confidence in myself. And I realized what I was able to do, and that came early in my life. It was just, it's by God's Spirit, and it's by the talent that he gave me. So I felt sure of myself.
So is the confidence in you as well. Were you drafted, or did you have to try out for?
No. I was walk on. The odds was against me.
Oh, wow.
Probably maybe more like 1,000 to 1. The odds was, but not against God.
Right.
When I stepped on the football field there in Buffalo, the first thing I did, I looked at the players that I would be competing against for a job, and my confidence just increased.
Took off.
Oh yeah, it's just increased. I had an attitude because they didn't draft me.
So I'm gonna show you.
How could you not draft me?
Right.
Just because I went to Fish University, a small school, why? Out of all the people you drafted in America, you overlooked me and didn't draft me.
Right.
So that was an attitude I had right there. And you have to prove yourself to people. But with the gift that God gives you, it doesn't take long for that gift to surface and to shine and to stand out. That's the thing about it. What God gives you, it stands out. There's a light on your talent. There's a light on your gift.
Also listening to you was a walk-on and not really looking the part, but you didn't give up. You didn't give up on the dream of becoming this professional football player. And in life today, we see so many people that they're gifted and talented, but they give up before the miracle happens.
Well, you have to have an attitude. I'm not saying an attitude of the nature that it's misleading and misguided.
Right.
But you have to have an attitude about yourself. And that attitude is a positive attitude. That attitude is an attitude of confidence. Attitude is an attitude of assurance.
Yeah.
And that attitude is something that doesn't never put you in second place, but it always keep you in first place. Believe it in yourself.
I say this a lot of time. I've been saying this for years about myself. I'm not cocky, but I'm confident. And when you know who you are and whose you are, it makes that life a little bit more easier. But when I'm looking at the news and I'm dealing with kids and children and even parents who come to talk to me sometimes, I'm worried about our young kids. And you were saying that once you stopped playing professional football, you went back into the teaching field. And just so I want to say this about your ability to run. For those who don't know, you were my coach, my track coach. And I remember one day you said that we had to run, and I was like tired, and I really wasn't good at track. But you made me run anyway. Let me put that out there. But you ran with us. And I don't know how often you used to do that while you was coaching, but that amazed me at that time. And that's something that kind of stands out. So I know that you was very athletic, but, and even in doing that, I think that we all can take a note from that, how you get in there with the children, with the young people, and not just tell us what to do, but you showed us what to do. Important. And I think that that's very, very important. And so is that the skill that you used the whole time you was over there?
Well, that have to be your season now. You know what I mean? Now, I could tell them now, but I would have problems trying to show them. But at that particular point in time, I could tell them and show them also. Not just to do what I ask you to do, but do what you see as I demonstrate to you and show you, It
was funny then, though, because even then I looked at you like you were too old to be running like that, and you dusted all of us. And I thought to myself, oh, my goodness.
Well, for some reason, young kids even look at individuals in their 30s and their 40s as being old.
Oh.
When you get in your 30s and your 40s, you realize that's not old.
Yeah. So how long did you, when you went back teaching, how long were you teaching? Were you coaching? What were you doing?
Both.
Okay.
Yes. I was in education for about 31 years. The first part, it was in the classroom, in the gym, on the track, on the football field, on the basketball court, working with kids. Extracurricular activities are so important. It teaches leadership skills. It teaches unity and being able to work with others. It teaches in people discipline in order to follow directions, respect authority, teamwork. Extracurricular activity is extremely important. We had a group of people come to us and talk with us as teachers, the teachers of Rutherford County. And I won't never forget what the individuals, they were recruiters from Yale, Harvard, all the Ivy League schools. And one thing that they said, we don't look at students' grades when they come and try to get in school. What we do, we look at their extracurricular activities, because those activities teach us leadership skills. Everybody's smart who applies and comes to those schools, okay? But everybody don't have the leadership skills that make you successful.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So let me ask you a question that a lot of teachers are asked. Are there any bad kids?
In the sense of how we view kids, no. Dealing with reality, we still say no, because we try to improve, we try to elevate, we try to mold and shape in a very positive way. We look at all of them as good kids, up until the point the wrong thing may come out. And we still don't call them bad. We just call them kids that need additional help.
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to the kids, a lot of times it's a lack of love and inclusion. I know for me, oftentimes I felt unloved, and then either I had a great teacher that reassured me, or or a family member, my mom, the love is what brings you back, you know, even with some of the things I've been into. But today it's about you.
Okay. Let me respond to that. If you're in the teaching business and if you don't treat each kid as your own kid, you don't belong in the business.
Oh, that's good.
Parenting that's what we are. When they spend more time with us in school than they spend at home, we have more opportunities to mold and shape and have an impression on the kids that's sent to us than the parents themselves. So if you don't love them, and when you love covers everything. You're there for them.
Right.
You have to have that passion for them. You have to have faith in them. You have to have confidence in them. And then it's easy to take them to the next level. You know, they can go there, but they can go there a lot easier with our support and our love that we give them.
So let me ask you something. When you were in school and you had all of these big dreams and aspirations, can you think of a teacher that impacted your life, that helped you along the way? One teacher?
I can think of teachers. I wouldn't mention one teacher. I can think of teachers. We went to a small high school. Everybody knew everybody. It was a segregated high school. No one got suspended. I remember one person getting suspended from our high school in 4 years I attended there. Okay, the teachers knew you personally. Wow. They was your parents. They made sure you was going to be successful. It was different environment. You know, a totally different environment. So I would be unfair to the teachers who molded and shaped and put time in my life. I have to say all of my teachers, they cared for you. They cared for you. That was a reality. That wasn't something that was you hoped for. That was something that actually happened with the students that attended a small segregated black school called Holloway High School.
Oh yeah, I think my mom went to Holloway.
Yeah, she went there.
She went there. Oh yeah.
My dad went there. My mom went there.
Everybody went there in this little bitty town.
Up until integration. In I think 1963 or 4. That's when they did school. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I want to get back to the NFL. How did you feel playing professional football? Like out on the stands with everybody. I just imagine that to be a very exciting time in your life. Authentic Tax, the real tax place. We've been providing excellent bookkeeping and tax preparation for over 15 years. And we're now at our new location, located at 805 South Church Street, suite number 7, here in Murfreesboro. So come on in and get a completely free estimate and same day money here at Authentic Tax, the real tax place. And there's so many kids that want to do that. So what would be the downside to trying to get into professional football, you think? Everything has a downside.
Everything have a downside. The downside, if you don't have the talent and want to do something you haven't been called to do. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to face reality.
Right.
Everybody can't play that game. You have to have the gift. It's a gift that, it's like...
Is it just physical or does it take mental ability as well?
We're talking about wholeness here. Everything about you, your attitude, your physical talent, your mentality. You find guys come in with the gift, but they don't have the right attitude. And they don't make it, okay?
Right.
You find guys coming in with the gift and they're not any better from day one than if they've been there 4 or 5 years, they haven't improved. You have to have the mindset when you come in there. You have to be able to challenge yourself each and every day. And this is the way life feels. We don't compete against other people. We compete against ourselves. And as we improve, as we coach, as we fine tune our gifts and our talent, we increase, we get better, we get better, we get better. And then we get into a class of the exceptional, where the players are is considered as the best in the NFL. That's the way you get there, by being able to understand your gifts and your talents, and being able to really coach yourself, set goals each and every day, and correct mistakes, get better, work on weaknesses, get better. You have to do that. And then you wake up one day and you realize that you're in a group, a very rare group, that's very few people have achieved.
We do say here on the Talk Box, every day that we get up, we got another day to get some things right that we didn't have right on yesterday. And that's a chance and a choice. And we have to go forward from there. So with some of the people that you played with, who was some of the, I guess, known people that you played with? Were you playing with people who would also be known now?
My generation, you know how it was with Joseph in Egypt. Many pharaohs passed.
I know, but you got who stood out when you when you were on the team, when you played for Buffalo Bills? Who stood out?
Well, quite naturally, O.J. Simpson. He was a star.
So you played at the same time.
We came in together. He was the number one draft choice in the country. I was a walk-on. In other words, I got there by.
So the same year.
We came in the same year. We came in. We was roommates my first year. My freshman year, we roomed together. We was close friends.
Oh, wow.
I went out in California at his home and spent time. He came to Murfreesboro on one occasion, and he came to Fish University, where I graduated from, on another occasion. So probably the most recognized player back then. I ended up with him, and it was kind of strange because he was the top choice of all the football players, and I was the bottom choice. And you was the walk-on. And I was the walk-on.
Look at God. That's when you know it's God right there.
Yeah. But God gave me an opportunity back then. And I was young in the Lord, but it was an act that He caused to a relationship that He actually brought together. And I was country boy. I was low key, kind of quiet. Didn't get excited about hardly anything. I think what happened, the organization, the Buffalo Bills, did this. They put us together for a reason. He was the top end. They felt like maybe, just because he was the top end, I didn't have any more respect for him than someone that was trying to make it. And we ended up together because I was just, in other words, the Lord is not a respecter of man.
Yeah, right.
And my attitude is the same attitude. You're just another brother.
Right. But I will say, those holy connections that God give us throughout our lives are very, very important. Not just the teachers, but it could be, I've had those little holy connections that even with me going to the White House last week, that's a holy connection. So I think that we just have to keep our eyes open and try to continue to walk in purpose.
It's no accident with God. Everything that happened to God's people, it has been ordained by His divine will. It's no accident or coincidence that things just happen.
Right.
How can that be when we worship and serve an awesome God, a God who sees ahead and a God who's able to work everything out? It is by His divine purpose.
Yes.
That's the way life operates. That's the way my life has operated.
Mine too. Mine too. I know that you've known me all my life. And what God has done for me and my transformation, I often tell people, that has given up hope, who has lost hope, lost loved ones, gone through divorce, the things that we go through, I know that God is not a respecter of persons. And I know that what he did for me, he can do, so you've seen me through a lot of transitions in my life.
God is good. But he was right there with me. God is with those that he elected before the creation of this world. And he's going to hunt you down if you go astray. And being covered in the righteousness of Christ Jesus, all that you did and all that you could say carrying around, God doesn't see that. He's graceful.
I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that now.
He's a patient God too. But let me tell you something. How things are not. It doesn't happen by accident. And I don't know if I shared this with you. I pastor St. John United Methodist Church. Okay, my first Sunday in the church, the first sermon I preached there, Aunt Josephine and Aunt Irene was there. Aunt Josephine stood up and she started talking about how she got baptized in the creek down the road. And I said, "What are you talking about getting baptized here?" I found out that was where our people come from. That's where Mammy and Pap and the family come from, out of the St. John Church and out of another church, a Methodist church. It was blended together. I realized God took me back to where it all began. I never knew that.
Full circle.
I said, God,
grandparents, great-grandparents.
I said, you've taken me back. And I've been there 21 years, maybe 22. But just to show you how God, that was not by coincidence. And Methodist preachers, I tell you right now, Methodist preachers, it's very unusual for them to get somewhere and stay there 20-something years.
Yeah.
They move.
Because they move. Yeah.
But I have not been moved. Because God is not.
Hey, if he ordains it, that's just how it's going to be. So it seems as if your life has been purposeful all throughout.
Oh, yeah.
So here I was telling you that we try to motivate those that are lost, those that have lost hope. And with the things that you've gone through, you've really lived a blessed life. Others may even imagine or would hope to live part of the life that you've lived. So what advice can you give to those who are trying to find their purpose? Because you found your purpose every step of the way. You knew you was going to be a professional football player. You already knew you was going to be some kind of teacher because that's what school you were going to. Then God called you into the ministry, so you start pastoring.
I didn't know I was going to do that.
Oh, you did?
No.
That one was a trick.
No. The people told me when I was young, they saw something on me.
Yeah.
I didn't see on me. When I was with the Buffalo Bill, I was this. I was over. I coordinated all of our worship services. We have church before football game on Sunday. People don't realize that we play at 1:00, but we have church at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I had that responsibility there as the chaplain.
So he was actually lining you up even during the.
But I didn't think I was just lining things up. I didn't have no idea I was going to.
He said, "Let me slide that on in now."
But it's all. God has always played an extremely important part in my life. Anybody that's going to be successful, you have to understand. Success comes from above. Prosperity comes from above. Now, there's different things they call success. Just because you may be making money don't mean that's successful. You can be having hell and catching hell, making all the money in the world. Successful is when you're at peace with yourself. Successful is when God has blessed you and you're highly favored with Him. Success is when everything you touch, you prosper. Success is when every step you take, if God has declared that you will be successful there, that's what success is, being under the guidance of God, empowered by the power of the Holy Spirit of God, at peace with God. Yes, life get tough sometimes, but you just hold on, have faith that God is going to work things out, and He will work things out. Blessing other people, giving God great glory, giving Him honor, worshiping Him, inspiring other people on this journey to walk with you, guiding, speaking positivity to other people. Success it's a big umbrella. You can't, there's no umbrella that you could unfold and say success falls here. Right. Success falls in a very broad range.
Well, what we call it here on the Talkbox is abundant living. Abundant living is possessing those things actually that money cannot buy. So I just want to thank you, Coach, Pastor, Kinfolk, James, and man of God, for coming on the Talkbox Show. It was truly my pleasure being able to interview you and not tear up, because I really didn't know your story. So I do thank you for coming on today. And I just want to thank you guys for watching, and make sure that you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. And listen, it is time for us to walk out our abundant living that our Creator has given us permission and authority to live. It's your girl, Sonja G, here on the Talkbox. We'll see you later.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, listening to the Talkbox side. Yeah, listening to the Talkbox. Let's talk about it.